Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of I Rise with Sal. Today on my show, we have Jamie Wilhelm with us. And Jamie is currently a partner manager who works in the sales team at Walmart Connect, which is Walmart's media and advertising company. Jamie and I connected over our love for yoga as she has co founded Alt Yoga Collective. Alt Yoga Collective aims to make yoga accessible to all, and her classes are donation based, which means participants can pay whatever they can afford. Donations are usually made and proceeds are given towards donating free mats and partnering up with nonprofit organizations. She's also donated funds towards COVID relief in India. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jamie, and we're so lucky to have you to discuss all of the wonderful things that you've been doing.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Great. I'd love to start by asking you, how did you start your career? And you're someone that's pivoted quite a bit through your journey. So we'd love to learn a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I started my career in on the agency side, and I was actually doing media and planning and buying. And at the time, I had no idea that I was laying down the foundation for my entire career. I just was excited to get a job after college, right? So after a few years of learning the media landscape and buying TV and planning TV, radio, out of home, digital, I moved over to the client side in the restaurant business because they were looking for someone who understood media and could advise them on how to make better media plans and more efficient media plans. So I spent a ton of time working at different restaurants. I was a field marketing manager, then I was a director of marketing, and then I was a senior director of marketing, and then moved on to a regional marketing director, working on brands such as Moe's Southwest Grill, Papa John's, Cinnabon, Schlotsky's Deli, Auntie Anne's. So all those big fun brands. And I really got to understand the strategy behind marketing as well as what goes into finding out who your target audience is, who your consumer is, like all the ins and outs. And then from there, I kind of not got bored, but I was just ready to try something different and use my skill set, the skill set that I was best at for a new role. And so I wanted to be in sales. In my marketing roles, I had spoken to so many different salespeople, and a lot of them are not good. A lot of them don't listen, don't ask the right questions. They're just totally into getting the sale and that's it. And so I just was thinking I can really do this because of my background of what I've built all these years. So I moved over to Walmart Connect, and it's been really awesome. I get to build relationships. I get to upsell and sell and think strategically about my client's business and how they can perform better and more efficiently. I just really love it. So I think, every job step that you make leads to the next. And really just focusing every day and doing your best at your job, that is the key. I know a lot of people want to do a ton of different things and but just my boss always says this to me, he's just be really good at your job.
Yes, absolutely. And segueing into not only your current job, but you took up co-founding Alt Yoga Collective. Could you share parts of your yoga journey as you completed the 500-hour yoga teacher training certification that you did recently? I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
Sure. So my yoga story is kind of an interesting one. So I'll start from the beginning. I wanted to get into yoga because of more of a physical exercise thing, right? Madonna has the best arms ever and she does yoga. So that's why I wanted to do yoga. So when I started going to yoga, I went to the hardest teachers, the hardest classes. I just wanted to basically use it as a way to work out. And then I experienced some loss. So I lost my grandfather and I lost one of my dearest friends all within 10 days. And something just changed in me. I started to get really depressed. Some bouts of depression, anxiety started coming on, and yoga changed. Like, I started listening to the Dharma talk. So those who aren't familiar with yoga, the Dharma talk is the little like lecture at the beginning of class that the teacher sometimes gives. I started like using Shavasana, which is at the end of class, you rest for a few minutes. Like, instead of using it to plan my day, I started to really like just breathe and try not to think about anything. And it became a tool for me. It became a tool for me to calm my nerves, feel better about myself, calm some of the anxiety and depression that I was having. So my whole relationship with yoga changed. So now it's like killing birds with two stones. I can still get a good workout, but now it's just like so much more to me. I'm still working on those Madonna arms, by the way.
I think you're almost there.
Thanks. So, going into teaching a few years ago, I moved to New York City and I didn't really know anyone here. So I thought, a great way to meet people and meet like-minded people as me is, let me do yoga teacher training. So I went in not thinking that I was going to be a teacher, but more like build relationships and find friends. And when I finished the training, I was like, I want to teach. I don't know like what it was. Maybe I just got more comfortable or confident that I could do it. So I decided like, yeah, I want to start teaching. So I started practice teaching with some of my friends from my class. And that turned into three girls, like three of us, starting Alt Yoga Collective. And our idea behind it is that we want to make yoga more available. We all have different reasons that we like the practice and decided to teach, but all in all, there is a dominant culture out there that has specific, almost like stereotypes around yoga, and that's not really what yoga is. So we want to change that. And we also just want, yoga can be expensive and it can be hard to get to because there's, it takes a while to get to a class, and the class is an hour and get back, and like a lot of people don't have time. So we thought, let's do online classes that are live and let's make them free so anyone can join, no matter how much money you make or how much you can afford. And if you'd like to make a donation, you can. And all that money will go back to the cause, which is bringing yoga to more people, making it more available. And so we started our MAT program, and those donations go to support the MAT program, which purchases yoga mats for those in need. So we've partnered with several different organizations to get mats into schools, into different programs for women's healing and support. And that's what we do. We have 7 or 8 teachers. We have classes almost every single day of the week, all with the goal of making yoga more available to people, because we want other people to feel the same effects of yoga that we feel.
Indeed, I've been following your Instagram posts and your Facebook posts, and I think how much you've been sharing about your personal journey as well as your journey through Alt has been incredible and really exciting and motivating for a lot of people around who have been following you. I'd love to starting a venture like Alt Yoga Collective is really not easy. I'd love to hear a little bit more about some of the challenges that you've faced along the way and how you've navigated through them.
Girl, it is not easy at all, especially in a space there's a lot of people. Like, there's a lot of yoga studios, there's a lot of fitness studios. So it's definitely a challenge. I think our biggest challenge right now is like getting the word out. It's very hard. We use social media the most to get out the word out about our classes and what we do. We also use word of mouth, but because we're so new, it's just trying to build that marketing base and find people to come to class. That's like our biggest challenge. So we've got a lot of special events coming up that we're really excited about. And just trying to like get out there into our communities. That's what we're doing to overcome that challenge. But right now that's our biggest challenge. So we're only a year old. So I think I need to like lower my expectations a little bit about like having this booming online yoga business. Like it does take time. So I have to keep that into perspective. But our year anniversary is on Halloween. I'm so excited. I can't believe it's been a year.
Wow, I think we can have a special class then.
I know. Last year on Halloween, I wore a skeleton costume. So maybe I'll pull that out again.
Yes. You know, as you mentioned that this journey has not been easy for you. So how, like, from where and whom do you draw your strengths from?
I have an amazing, amazing support system. I have great friends and a wonderful family, and they are all so supportive of me. And my husband too, like he's like the absolute best. Like I'm so grateful. One person I'm really pulling my strength from though is my mom. You know, she has been through a lot in her life and she is handling it so very, very well. She comes to all my classes. Like it's the sweetest thing because she's older and I teach an intermediate yoga class. So for her to come and do it, but just like how she handles herself and has handled her challenges, I've learned a lot. And I don't think I realized it until I was older, but like looking back on how things were and the things that she was going through when I was younger, like it's really just like all coming together now. And I just admire her so much and her strength.
Yes, moms are the best. They have so much strength, and it's great that you have a really strong support system around you. You know, segueing into my last question, which is similar along the lines, but you know, you're someone that gives 100% to everything that you do, and I've seen that personally through your classes, through your work, as a person. You know, how do you do that? Like, how do you give yourself and put yourself out there and put your full and vulnerable self out there?
You know, that's a really good question. I think a lot of it is balance. So first of all, I do like put 100% into everything I do, because if you don't, I'm like, then what's the point? Right. So like, I try to like put 100% in, but also like think about what you're doing. Like if it's something that you don't want to be doing or you don't want to put 100% in, then don't do it. So I've like cut those things out of my life that like don't give me joy or bring me what I need. Those are no longer in my life. And then it's balance. You know, I work hard, play hard. So there are days where I will work. Basically, I feel like I have two jobs between Walmart and Alt Yoga Collective. There are times we'll put in a 12-hour day, but then we just went on a fabulous vacation to the beach and I took a couple of days off, right? So it's balancing that out. I mentioned I went to bed at 9:30 last night. It was Saturday night.
Yes.
That's okay. I also went to a concert on Thursday night. So it's really just like balancing everything out to make sure that you are well rested and taken care of so that you can put 100% into everything you do.
Yes, I 100% agree to that. I think it's perfectly fine to have a 9 p.m. Saturday night. There's no reason to, you know, feel pressured into doing anything. And it's great that you're able to have that balance and still stay so positive and radiant throughout the week. Thank you so much for today. It was a pleasure speaking to you, and I'll definitely include all your details in the bio below. So anyone who'd like to reach out to Jamie or attend her classes through Alt Yoga Collective, feel free to look at the links below and reach out to her. And thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much. I love what you're doing, and I'm one of your biggest fans. So
thank you so much, Jamie.